What if I told you that we're heading straight into one of the biggest unemployment crises in modern history, and almost no one is ready for it, no one's prepared for it, it's gonna hit everyone like a ton of bricks. Right now, major companies are slashing tens of thousands of jobs, and the scary part is this isn't just some one-off at one company, it's been ongoing since 2022, and it could be the start of something much bigger. The job market you know today will not exist in 3 years, partially of course due to AI unemployment crisis, but wages are stagnating, people's savings are being drained, and entire career paths are being disrupted overnight. Okay, a lot of people are still investing in CDs when digital media is here. That is the equivalent of having a lot of white collar jobs right now. If you don't adapt fast, you'll be left behind, especially when it comes to AI. So let's unpack what's really happening, what's coming next, and how to protect yourself before it's too late. Let's start with the hard data, just the facts, baby. Okay, in just the last few months, we have seen mass layoffs across nearly every sector. UPS cut 48,000 jobs, Amazon 30,000, Intel 24,000, Nestle 16,000, Accenture 11,000, Ford 11,000. The list goes on and on. Microsoft, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Salesforce, Target, Meta, everyone is cutting back on staff. It's not random, it's not just magically happening, and it's across all industries. This is a synchronized corporate pullback, and it's only accelerating. Now you can have one guy do the job of 10 people, especially when it comes to white collar stuff, thanks to AI. The simple answer to what's driving this, though, of course, really comes down to profit protection. AI lets companies be more profitable, do more with less. Companies are realizing now that they overhired back when interest rates were basically 0% and are now bracing for slower growth. Rising costs, consumers cutting back on spending, inflation sticky, interest rates are taking longer than first expected to come down, corporate debt's piling up, blah, 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 blah. You know all this stuff. So the easiest way to impress investors right now, fire people. Cut the head count, especially because AI now lets more be done with fewer people. It boosts margins, and they can then funnel cash back into stock buybacks or into CapEx, which everybody loves. We've entered the era of intense corporate efficiency. Shareholders win, workers lose. But it's always been like this. New efficiencies in technology always lead to people losing their jobs. Now let's zoom out. The overall U.S. unemployment rate hit almost a 4-year high of 4.3%, which historically is well within like normal ranges. It's not a crisis range by any means. But the labor market is weakening because that number has been slowly, very, very, very slowly going up. For young workers aged 16 to 24, the unemployment rate has been rising from 6.6% in April 2023 to over 10% in August of this year. That's back to pandemic levels. Brutal. And it matters if you're starting off in your career, mid-career, or raising kids, because the education system is still preparing kids for jobs that simply no longer exist. Things are changing at such a rapid pace. Imagine if you have a 5-year-old right now. What the heck are they going to do when they're 18, man? Most of the jobs that you imagine today will be replaced by robots or AI. Parents are sending their kids to college, borrowing 6 figures in terrible debt, only for those kids to graduate and move back home, and it's only going to get worse. They're buried in debt, living in your basement, fighting for jobs that they never expected they'd have to fight for because the job they wanted to get, they trained for, it doesn't exist. A 2019 survey found 54% of young people graduating move back in home with their parents. In this economy, though, once they move back in, there's a chance they may never be able to afford to move back out. That's the real cost. If you're not adapting, you're going backwards. The burden is on you to outperform. The burden is on you to succeed, to be your own boss, okay? No one's coming to save you. Now, before we get to the next part of this conversation, guys, this one's a no-brainer. Look, if you're trading crypto, Femex is one of the most secure exchanges in crypto, literally paying you insane money right now to sign up. Deposit $5,000, $500 back. Deposit $10,000, $1,000 back. 20K, they're gonna put $1,600 cash back into your account, plus up to $20,000 in trading bonuses. This is wild. Look, I've traded over there for years. You wanna trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, they got you covered, man, okay? You can use it from anywhere, so anyone anywhere can use it. You might need a VPN in some cases. Okay, it's a very limited time offer. If you want to claim these insane bonuses, act now, link right down below. Here's where things get interesting in this whole conversation. The next 3, 5, 10 years are going to completely reshape the job market, not just the size, but the structure. Some are blaming AI. Some are saying automation has already taken human jobs, and this has always been the case. In fact, the Great Depression was exacerbated by the fact that tractors started becoming popular, and a huge percentage of the U.S. workforce worked on farms, and suddenly there were not jobs there anymore for these people because tractors fucking replaced them. Same's gonna happen with AI and robotics, okay? And yes, there is some truth, of course, in the fact that AI is going to take away a lot of jobs. Amazon's a perfect example. Leaked documents show they're planning to automate 75% of warehouse operations by 2033. That's crazy numbers, man. That's potentially 6 100,000 jobs gone, replaced by robotics. And they're already preparing PR strategies to manage that backlash. They know what's coming, but it's just business-based. Nothing personal, it's just business. But while Amazon headlines big numbers, the under-the-radar disruption is already happening. A 2025 report by Microsoft flagged a total of 40 roles with the highest AI applicability score, meaning AI already overlaps heavily with what these jobs do. A lot of these are those very high education jobs, white-collar positions, interpreters, translators, writers, authors, marketers, customer service reps, sales reps, management analysts. Thinking jobs are in big trouble because AI is going to think better than you. Another study, up to 1/3 of US employment is highly exposed to AI via large language models. 1 in 3 jobs, man. Now, to be clear, let's take an accounting firm. They got 50 employees. Pretty soon they're going to have 5 because they don't need as many people. So it's not to say that accounting will go away or that the human touch won't still be there for clients, but more work will be able to be done by fewer people. AI also makes a convenient excuse too. AI makes for great headlines, but the contrarian view here is that this isn't purely an AI apocalypse. We have 2 things happening at the same time. We have the AI apocalypse, yes, the robotics apocalypse, but also we're seeing the hangover effects of what happened in 2020 and 2021. This is economic overcorrection. Some economists argue that these layoffs are actually a delayed consequence of the Fed's boom-bust policy cycle. Fed rates went to 0%, then to 5% in record time. The whiplash broke the hiring boom, and now we're seeing the fallout from that continuing to slowly ease its way out. Add to this the massive government debt spiral, the picture gets even bleaker. High debt levels means higher taxes, less public spending, higher borrowing costs, all of which reduces hiring, slows growth, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's a multi-layered structural problem. It's not just a corporate or AI issue, but they're definitely the poster children for it. And this isn't just a few layoffs either. This is literally a reset on how we understand global labor. It's going to play out over the next 5-10 years. How does the global workforce operate when AI does everything better? What are people who lose their jobs going to do? So yes, AI is changing the landscape, but what we're really seeing right now is the system correcting itself after years of cheap money and reckless expansion. Still, that correction will not be painless, and a lot of people watching, you might be losing your job in the next 5 to 10 years thanks to robotics or AI. Be ahead of the curve. Don't get crushed by the inevitability of fate. Millions will find their skills outdated or underpaid. Entire career paths will vanish. The people who survive and thrive in this new world will be the ones who pivot early, not when everyone else is blindsided. By the way, if you want to make sure you don't get caught off guard as all this unfolds, you should sign up my free Wealth Mastery newsletter. It's awesome. It's exactly what you need. Link down below. Go check it out. Crypto, stocks, everything, okay? It's awesome. It's free. Go check it out. Anyway, so look, if you made it this far, you've got maybe 3 to 5 years to max insulate yourself before the storm really hits. So what do? Well, lock in your income, whether that's freelancing, building an online business, using AI to build a business, investing in stocks, investing in crypto, getting real estate, learning an AI-related skill. You need income streams that don't depend on a single employer, because if your single source of income comes from a 9-to-5 job, you are exposed extremely to the economic forces at work right now. The old promise of work hard, stay loyal, you'll be secure, man, just work at the same place 40 years. That's been dead for a long time. Sure as fuck ain't applicable now. You have to be a speculator. The governments are forcing you to be speculators. Governments are forcing you to be entrepreneurs at this point. If you're not listening to the message, you're gonna get crushed. Step 2, save and invest aggressively. Now is not the time to be blowing your paycheck at the bars or to go REITs 5 times a week, all that kind of bullshit. If layoffs keep accelerating, which they're likely to do, liquidity will dry up. Those who have cash and assets will have leverage, while everyone else will be fucked. Build your safety net, keep dry powder for opportunities in the market, keep stacking hard assets like Bitcoin. Step 3, bet on yourself. The people who will win in this new economy, guess what? They're the ones who are going to be the hustlers. The ones that can pivot fast, learn fast, and stay paranoid. Paranoid enough to prepare when others are just out there partying, completely oblivious to what's coming. You're not going to make it if you don't understand AI, how to use AI, and how to build with AI. It's absolutely critical, because this isn't a drill. This is the next big reset in the global workforce. AI, automation, monetary policy, it's all coming together, it's all colliding. When the dust settles, most people will then be asking, what the hell just happened? But not you. You've seen it coming for years. You'll be ready. You're not going to be one of the ones who ends up being a slave to the system. reliant on universal basic income, CBDCs, and digital IDs that tell you when you can take a crap. It's coming. It's already happening. Look what they're doing in the UK right now. Look what they've been doing in China for a decade. But that's not going to be you because you're paying attention. You're awake here now. And when everyone else gets blindsided by the layoffs, you ought to be 2 steps ahead, investing, building, thriving in the new economy. Because here's the flip side of this whole conversation. Those who adapt now are going to absolutely kill it. You're going to thrive so hard, okay? But you have to be invested in the right companies, the right technologies. You have to be building a business with AI, all this kind of stuff. You have to be ready for the economic changes that are afoot because they're monumental and the labor force is never going to look the same after this. But you can succeed if you're paying attention now and staying ahead of this very fast-moving curve. That's it. Thanks for watching.